Not the best helmet I've seen in my life. Look at this. It doesn't match anything, bro. I'm not a fan of this. I don't like this neon over here. Neon. It looks more like the Hungarian flag. It doesn't match Mercedes. I love this helmet. Today we are ranking every single driver's helmet on the 2025 Formula 1 grid. Listen, we all got our favorite drivers and our favorite liveries, but helmets say a lot about the driver. It's way beyond the team and the sponsors, and as we dive deeper into this video, you're going to see how a lot of these helmets are more than just art. They tell a story. But also, that's not the only thing we're doing today, because we're also ranking them. Of course, a quick disclaimer is always every time I make one of these videos, these are just my opinion. It doesn't mean that a driver is a better driver or a worse driver based on how cool I think that helmet looks like to me. All right, so this is how we're gonna do this. As you can see, we got a tier list right here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go one by one through all these helmets. I went ahead before recording this video and I got about 10 images of each helmet from different angles and on track that we're gonna be looking at, because I don't think that just looking at them here on this tier list is a fair judgment of how they actually look like. Right away, the first one we got right here is Gabriel Bortoleto. Let's take a look at some more pictures. All right, this is the first picture that we have. If you see me looking down a little bit, I'm looking at the picture. We have a lot of things that resemble the Brazilian flag, which is a cool idea. But as a helmet overall, to me, this is not the most beautiful helmet I've seen. I like the speed lines idea, but not the best. Let's see the next picture. Okay, this is just a zoomed in version of it, more from the front. I don't like this shiny visor over here. I like more of like a black or dark visor that we're gonna see in other helmets. From the side, there just isn't much to it. This is the back. It says family right here. Not the best helmet I've seen in my life. I'm going to put Gabriel Bortoleto's helmet in C tier. Not the best. Next up, we have Nico Hulkenberg. Nico Hulkenberg has a quite unique helmet. There's a lot of black all around it, but if you look at it, it has like paint splatters over here, and also it keeps the green color that matches his car and his race suit. Overall, I really like the matte black over here. Much better in my opinion than Gabriel Bortoleto's. I like how the ads kind of like go along with the colors. He managed to get them all in one color. They're all white in contrast with that black. Looks very cool. From the back, we got the simple racing lines with his number outline over here. It matches very well with the Sauber uniform and the car. I think we've seen enough. It's time to rank it now, and I'm gonna put Nico Hulkenberg's helmet in A tier. I think this is a very cool helmet. Next up, we have Alex Albon. Let's take a look. All right, from the very beginning, one thing we can tell about Alex Albon is that he is a team player, because these colors really match well his team. We have the Thai flag right here, cool detail. He didn't just go for like the whole helmet looking like the Thai flag, kind of like Bortoleto did with the Brazilian flag, but instead just added a cool detail down there with lots of cool art lines over here. I like the colors. I don't like the visor. It looks very well with the car, not so much with the uniform, but when he's inside the car, it looks very nice. Yeah, even with the uniform, even though it doesn't fully match, it's not a big contrast. It looks very well. I like the details here, like the little fade over here. You can tell there's a lot of detail. Even though it's a minimalist helmet, there's a lot of detail that goes into it. Of course, this Duracell ad over here is an eyesore, but Williams is known for having this ad on their cars, so I imagine it was just mandatory to have this on his helmet. Overall, I think Alex Albon has a very cool helmet, up there with Nico Hulkenberg, but I think that Nico Hulkenberg's helmet is slightly cooler, so I'm going to put it right behind it. Next up, we have his teammate, Carlos Sainz. Let's go take a look. All right, just for starters, once again, we see a clear image of the Spanish flag this time, kind of like Gabriel Bortoleto was doing. At least I think this one combines a little better with the helmet, keeping the Williams colors, but also adding that Spanish flag with like speed lines to it and his number and name. Still, this is not my favorite type of helmet. I think you can just add your flag to the helmet instead of incorporating it into it. From the back, it looks a little better. A pretty cool design. The ads match it well, and the classic star that Carlos Sainz always has on his helmets. There's a whole lore behind it. I can talk about it in another video if you guys want to know about it. This is the final picture we're going to look at from the front. Once again, that shiny blue visor, not my favorite, but it matches the color of the helmet and the team, so that's okay. Now it's time to rank it. And overall, I think Carlos Sainz has a cool helmet, but nowhere near these two. I think it's slightly better than Bortoleto, so we're going to put it in C tier, ahead of Bortoleto. Not too bad, but not the greatest. Next up, we got Isack Hadjar. Let's take a look at his helmet. Once again, we see this color clash from the beginning. I don't like neon colors, especially on a helmet. It doesn't match the Red Bull yellow. This purple over here doesn't match anything. I like Isack Hadjar a lot as a driver, but this helmet is not it, brother. Whatever this is, yeah, this is not it. It doesn't match anything. Even when he's wearing it with his race suit, it doesn't match the blue, it doesn't match the green, It doesn't match anything. I mean, it shines, I guess, and maybe it's cool at night in the dark, but this is not it. So Isaac Hadjar, I am sorry, but you are going in D tier. Your helmet is not my favorite. Next up, we have Yuki Tsunoda. Let's take a look because this is a very interesting helmet. Okay, from the very beginning, I'm going to be very clear. I love this helmet. I think it's very simple yet very cool. I like the details with all the leaves right here. It's not exactly symmetric, but it also keeps some kind of symmetry, which I like a lot. I like that even though this visor is not my favorite, I already talked about that, it kind of matches the leaves, it matches the sponsors. Keep in mind that this helmet was made for when he was at Racing Bulls, and it worked very well with that specific car because the majority of the car is white. But even now at Red Bull, it still looks very cool. This is one of my favorite helmets. I'm not even gonna hide it before I rate it. Look, even the Red Bull logo matches the rest of the helmet. I think Yuki's helmet is outstanding. As you can probably imagine, Yuki is going straight into S tier, one of my favorite helmets in Formula One. But let's see if another helmet can dethrone this one. Next up, we have Ollie Bearman. Ollie Bearman, once again, with this Isaac Hadjar looking helmet over here with a lot of neon colors. Once again, I'm not a fan of this. It doesn't match the Haas colors. It doesn't match Ferrari when he was at Ferrari. It doesn't match his own vibe. This is kind of cool. Okay, this gives him some extra points. It's just the colors are not, they're not for me. But I like this detail over here. I guess it's a bear, but it looks a lot like Verstappen's lion. And this picture right here sealed the deal for me. This is a no-no. Look at this. It doesn't match anything, bro. I know it's like a cool design, but it'll be a lot better if he painted this yellow right here has red. That would be much better and it would match with his suit. Ollie Bearman, I'm sorry, brother, but you are going in D tier. Still slightly better than Isaac Hadjar's, but definitely nowhere near my favorites. Next up, we have one that is exactly what I was talking about that Ollie Bearman should do, because we have Esteban Ocon's, and his helmet looks a lot like what I was talking about. All right, here we go. From the very beginning, it makes sense with the team, with Haas. It matches the outfit. It matches the uniform. I'm not a huge fan of red in general as a color for many things, but I think that the Eiffel Tower detail right here is very cool. Of course, because Esteban Ocon is French, so it's a cool detail that resembles his nationality without having to put the flag on it, which would absolutely not match with this. So it's a much smarter and better way to do what I was talking about, that other drivers are just stamping that flag on that helmet and it just doesn't make any sense. Overall, much better than his teammate Ollie Bearman. Makes sense with the team, looks clean, not the best helmet, but definitely matches with his team. The main bad thing that we could say about this helmet is that it doesn't scream Esteban Ocon, but to me, that's not a huge deal. Overall, I think this is a cool helmet, but it's middle of the pack. I think it's going to go in B tier. It's definitely better than these two over here, Carlos Sainz and Gabriel Bortoleto, but I think it lacks the identity to be an A tier, because I know it has a similar style to Hulkenberg's or Albon, but Hulkenberg and Albon, you see them and you know that's them. With Esteban Ocon, you see this helmet and it kind of screams Haas more than Ocon. Next up, we have a driver that we haven't seen in a while, because we're talking about Jack Doohan. Jack Doohan tried once again to incorporate, this time, the Australian flag into this helmet. I'm not the biggest fan of this helmet, but I think that out of all the flag guys, this is the best one. Black visor, the helmet looks pretty cool. This is not red. If I'm not wrong, the Australian flag is red, not orange. The rest is fine. We have the stars over here, obviously from the flag as well. It's pretty simple but clean, but it definitely has some character to it. I see this and I know it's Jack Doohan. It's very recognizable. I'm not the biggest fan of the color combinations though, and it definitely didn't match with his team colors when he was at Alpine. Well, he still is, but he's not driving. I think that overall, this is an okay helmet. I'm also going to put it with the flag guys, but ahead of them, because I think he did the best job out of these three guys. And next up, we have Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly, once again, has a very unique concept in that it's very easily recognizable. It's not my favorite one. I think it looks a lot like the interior lining of a pool, but I don't dislike it at all. I think it's a cool helmet. We can see, once again, he added the details from the French flag in a very cool, neat way. The visor color matches the rest of the helmet. The rest of the helmet matches his uniform at Alpine. Overall, a very cool helmet, very neat, unique, authentic, and matches his uniform, and because of that, he belongs in A tier, but slightly behind Hulkenberg and ahead of Albon. Next up, we have Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll has the most on-brand helmet that I've seen perhaps ever in Formula One. this helmet definitely screams Aston Martin when you look at it. And it makes sense. He is Mr. Aston Martin. He is the son of the owner of the team. Overall, not bad, but once again, it just looks like the default like Aston Martin helmet you would get in like a video game. Once again, another driver that tried to add his national symbol to the helmet and he ruined it. I don't like this neon over here. It doesn't make any sense. But overall, in my opinion, this is like a mid helmet. It doesn't really have a personality, but it's not ugly. I'm gonna put Lance Stroll's helmet in B tier, but slightly behind Ocon because at least Ocon has more of like, this is Ocon's helmet. Next up, we have a very iconic helmet. I mean, we've all seen this helmet. People have replicas of this at home. I'm talking about Fernando Alonso's helmet. Fernando Alonso has a very unique helmet that's kind of like stayed very similar throughout the years at different teams. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest here. I like Fernando Alonso, but I have to detach myself from liking the guy and just rating the helmet. This is a helmet that if I didn't know it was Alonso's helmet, I don't like it. I don't like the neon. The colors don't match. These wings here are kind of cool. The way he added once again the Spanish flag into this, not a fan at all. The color scheme is all over the place. It definitely doesn't match his team. The visor is green, which matches Aston Martin, but doesn't match at all with the rest of the helmet. Yeah, overall, I'm sorry, Fernando Alonso, and I'm sorry to all the people who have a copy of this helmet at home because it's a very iconic helmet. I would like to have it as well. Looks wise alone, this is not it. Fernando Alonso's helmet is going in C tier, slightly behind Carlos Sainz, but ahead of Bortoleto. I think he did a better job of incorporating these colors, or maybe it's just because I'm so used to seeing this helmet as a cool helmet, but I'm trying to be completely neutral, and I don't think that this helmet belongs anywhere above C tier. Next up, we have the biggest rookie of the year, Kimi Antonelli. Let's take a look at his helmet because it's definitely a controversial one. All right, once again, I don't know why all the rookies do this, neon colors. And once again, trying to put the flag in the helmet and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't match Mercedes, the Italian flag. Maybe it would make sense at Ferrari, or like I said, you can always put the flag, like some of the drivers that we saw before, like on a corner and it would look fine. But when you try to incorporate those colors into a helmet of a team that doesn't use those colors, it just clashes. It doesn't look good, especially neon. That's, I don't know, I don't like it. I don't like this font over here. I don't like these stars either. It looks kind of like an imitation of Lewis Hamilton's helmet. It doesn't look good at all compared to the car. The back of it, these colors clash a lot. It looks more like the Hungarian flag than the Italian flag. Inside the cockpit, keep in mind he's driving a car that's like silver and black. This is not it. I am sorry to all the Kimi fans. This is not about his driving. It's only the helmet. But I think that Kimi's taste in art is the worst in Formula One. I'm going to put him last in D tier so far. Next up, we have Mr. Classic. We're talking about George Russell. George Russell has what I consider the most traditional and neutral kind of helmet in Formula One, but at the same time, you see this type of blue on the racetrack and you know that's George Russell. Very simple, very minimalistic, but at the same time, it matches well. It matches much better with the car than Kimi Antonelli's. It's not mind-blowing. It's not the coolest helmet I've ever seen, but it's just okay. There isn't much to say about George Russell's helmet. I think it is an okay helmet. He belongs in B tier. Now let me figure out where he's gonna go. I definitely like this helmet a little more than Stroll's helmet, and I definitely like it more, slightly more than Ocon's. So we're gonna put it first in the B tier, and that's a personal opinion. I just like this blue more than the other two colors, but overall these are like the boring helmets, the ones that didn't try much, but they're okay. They're not bad at all. Next up is Liam Lawson. Let's take a look at Liam's helmet. It reminds me slightly of Yuki's helmet. I like this pink. I like the pink and white combination. It looks very cool. Does it fully match the Red Bull logo? Not really, but Red Bull has a few drinks that have these color schemes. You know I'm not a fan of this visor over here, but it matches Red Bull colors. Beyond the looks and the design of the helmet, I think that the color palette is pretty cool. It matches. This is, I don't know what bro, this, like, I know this obviously represents Liam Lawson, but this like early 2000s memes. It's just weird. We have to keep in mind that when they made this helmet, they made it for the main Red Bull team because he started there. At the main Red Bull team, this doesn't clash that bad as it does with this other uniform at Racing Bulls. Overall, it's again an okay helmet. Definitely not one of my favorites, but it's not horrible. I think Liam Lawson also belongs in the C tier, but let's figure out where he's gonna go. I think that because of the color scheme, I like it more than Bortoleto. I like it more than Alonso's, and I definitely like it more than Sainz and Jack Doohan. I'm gonna put it top of C tier. Next up, we have 2024's champion. We're talking about Max Verstappen. Here's the deal. I've liked some of Verstappen's helmets in the past. This year, I think it's a downgrade. I'm not a fan of this. It looks like old Red Bull ads. It doesn't scream Max. I don't like the visor color. I know it matches Red Bull branding, but overall, this is not a helmet that stands out to me. I think, for example, this logo, if they made it black, it could stand out a lot better. I like that they added the championships right here. It's a cool detail. I like the clear details he has going all around and at the top of the helmet right here. But overall, this is once again an okay helmet. Low okay, not the best at all. Max, I am sorry, my friend. You are an awesome driver, but when it comes to your helmet, I think you belong in C tier, slightly behind Liam Lawson. Next up, we have a very iconic one with a different twist this year, because we're talking about Lewis Hamilton's helmet. Let me be clear, I've always been a fan of Hamilton's helmet. I think it's very neat, even though it's minimalistic. It's a unique color, kind of like George Russell has his own shade of blue and you know that's George Russell. You see this yellow and you know that's Lewis Hamilton. Not only that, but it matches perfectly with Ferrari. And he went with the red visor, which I'm not a fan of that, but it definitely matches so well Ferrari colors. The rest of the helmet is also red. It looks so cool and unique when he's driving this car. And yes, even though it's not Ferrari red, look at the Ferrari yellow in the logo. It completely matches his helmet. Overall, and even though I'm not the biggest yellow fan, I definitely like this helmet quite a bit. Lewis Hamilton, my friend, you are going in S tier. I think we're going with the same idea of Hulkenberg, but slightly better. Very unique, has a history, is very authentic, very Lewis, but I still like Yuki's slightly better. Next up, we have Mr. Ferrari. You can see it already, Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc here is doing the Lance Stroll thing, but better done. He's doing the all-out Ferrari, but in a cooler way, I think. Once again, a very simple helmet, but I like it a lot. I like the details here. It matches very well with this uniform, but still stands out with all those white details all around it. It's the kind of uniform that goes well with the team, but you can also look at it from far away and say that's Charles Leclerc. Let's not forget also that he is from Monaco, and what I think he's reflecting here are the Monaco colors, the Monaco flag, which out of every other flag we've seen, I think he's done the best job, but he's also been lucky that those colors match Ferrari really well. Overall, Charles, in my opinion, has a very nice helmet. I think he belongs in A tier, slightly behind Gasly. Ahead of Albon because I like the color combination better, but I don't think it has as much personality or uniqueness as Gasly's or Hulkenberg's. The final two are the two biggest title contenders this year. We're talking about Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. Let's start with Oscar. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I have never been a fan of Piastri's helmet. He is an awesome driver, but his art taste, once again, just is not it. Another driver that is hitting us with all these neon colors, at least I guess it kind of matches McLaren because it's kind of like orange, but it's more like salmon color and neon. It definitely stands out, but I don't think in a good way. It's not a pretty helmet to look at. And we have the addition once again of another flag right here, in this case the Australian flag, that doesn't make any sense with the rest of the helmet. I mean, I'm sorry Oscar, but this looks like it's put together with Microsoft Paint. Without a doubt, this helmet quality does not reflect the driver. I think it belongs in D tier. And at this point, does it really matter where I put it in D tier? I'm just gonna put it around here. It's not actually in front. I think it's the best out of the worst. Next up, we have his teammate and rival, Lando Norris. Lando Norris, and I'm gonna be very clear from the beginning, is the only driver that in my opinion has been able to pull off this glowing, annoying neon color and make it look good. That's just the truth. I absolutely love the design on this helmet. Not the biggest fan of the neon, but I guess it works. It definitely doesn't match with the uniform. Let's take a look at a picture with the uniform. Doesn't match very well, maybe with the Android logo over here, but not the best. But looking at the helmet alone, I think this design is awesome. I just wish he had changed the main color, and instead of being like a neon yellow greenish, make it like an orange or something that matches McLaren better, or maybe that doesn't clash as much. Even black and white would look very cool, or even a pink or a light blue or a salmon color I think would definitely match better with McLaren. If it wasn't for this yellow glowing thing right here, I think this would by far be my favorite helmet in all of Formula One, close to all of Formula One history. I love this design, but the color scheme is throwing me off, so let's see where we rank this. I think overall this helmet would be a 10 out of 10 if it wasn't for that color, which means that I can't put it in S tier, but with what we've seen, it definitely has the personality, is authentic, it screams Lando Norris. Maybe a little too much. I think it belongs over here in the Gasly category, slightly behind because of the color scheme. And that's it. It's a wrap, my friends. Now you know where I rank all these helmets, but I'm more interested to know where you rank them. Let me know down below your opinion about these helmets. At least let me know your top 3 down below in the comments. And as always, I'll be reading them and answering. Thank you so much for watching. You can click right here to subscribe, and you can click right here to watch the next video that I created just for you. Until next time, bye.